Howdy, this is the Phina Show, and my name remains Phina Brooks. Today, guys, I have a very, very special guest right here with us today. In fact, he's my mentor, my big brother, and a great friend. He is one of the community leaders in Calgary and in fact, Alberta, if not the whole of Canada. Please help me welcome the one, the only Dr. Chika Onwuekwe to the Phina Show. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Phina. It's so good to be here.
I am so happy that we finally have this sit down. I want to know a lot more because I know you've been up to a lot of things. And I want Canada and the rest of the world to actually know a lot of what you're doing lately. So, you just had an event a couple of days ago. Before we talk about that though, why don't you properly introduce yourself? You are a very cultural man too. I know you are a chief. So please give us all the titles, because we have to give honor to whom honor is due. So why don't you personally introduce yourself so we can appreciate you as you actually, have a conversation with us.
Once again, thank you so much, Phina. It's so good to be here. It's so good to be with you. I'm glad you made out your time to be here. My name is Dr. Chika Onwuekwe, Vice President, General Counsel, and Corporate Secretary at Trican Well Service Ltd. Trican is an oil service company in Canada here, and the foremost oil and gas company, service company in Canada. I'm also the co-chair of the Mentorship and Sponsorship Committee of Black Knot Initiative, Canada-wide. And I'm also the chair of the Alberta chapter of Black Knot Initiative. That's where I am.
Wow, I know there's a lot more that you did not tell us about yourself. But you know what, I'll respect your modesty. Now, sir, apart from being a legal mind, you're well involved in the community because you're such a giver, you're a philanthropist, you're a friend and a darling of the communities in Calgary. So this initiative that you just talked about, the BNI, can you just briefly give us a summary of what it's about and why it is about that?
Thank you so much. So Black Knot Initiative, in short BNI, was founded in 2020. And the Black Knot Initiative came about prior to 2020 when Wes Hall, the founder and the chairman of Black Knot Initiative, was going around and talking to just a few of us black leaders in Canada, asking us, what can we do? With just a few of us, and we had conversations. Wes was in Calgary, and we had good conversations. I've been in Toronto, and we all meet all the time and have conversations outside our work to say, just a few of us that sit at the C-suite, at the executive table, and part of the senior leadership team of most Fortune 500 or big companies. What can we do to get others in? How do we bring people up so that they stay up rather than go down? And we know that it is tough for the black community to get ahead just because of certain barriers that restrict them from doing that. And we felt that there are better black people than us. Yes, you worked hard, you're educated, you keep fighting, you keep making it, you keep making friends and networking to get where you need to be. But there are others who don't have the soft skills that you do have. Others who don't know how to climb that ladder. How do we make it even easier for them so that at least they know that we have done it, they can do better. And that's where the conversation started. So when sometime the unfortunate incident of George Floyd happened, it became a lesson to all of us that this could be us. We look like George Floyd, but we couldn't pen it down. West did, and credit to him. He did pen it down in Globe and Mail, and it was the catalyst to bring all of us leaders together. We've been talking behind doors. We didn't have an opportunity to launch out there, but that is little but mighty article or op-ed in Globe and Mail made it happen. And when it did happen, he had calls, and you've heard the stories of Wes Hall.
Right.
And since then, we came together, he was on TV and everywhere, but that wasn't important. All the black leaders that have been working with, like myself, reached out right away, and we started talking Black Knot in real terms now, rather than in the way that it was done before, and he was in the forefront of it.
Wow. So the Black Knot Initiative, that is the BNI, is something very interesting, but we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We need to know more about this organization.
When are we gonna stop singing about Africa?
We're back, and today we're chatting with Dr. Chika Onwuekwe right here in Calgary. We are learning a lot about the Black North Initiative that just launched a couple of days in Calgary. So let's go. Dr. Chika, I know you've stated the reason why Black North came to be. How will it affect people like us? Give us a rundown of how it should look like or what we should expect from it.
Thank you so much. So Black North, unlike other organizations, we are using what we call a corporate approach to solving a problem that we know exists in our community, which is anti-systemic Black racism, or anti-Black systemic racism, as it were.
Right.
And anti-Black systemic racism exists because people don't always want to deal with people that don't look like them.
Right.
And we know that. The question is, how do we solve it? We didn't want to wait for the politicians to do that because, again, every cycle, every 4 years,
they promise the same thing.
Absolutely. So we felt that the business people and using a business approach would be the best to do it. And I'm glad to say that over 500 big Canadian companies have signed up to the BNI pledge, the Black North pledge. And over more than 1,000 companies have taken to our playbook. And the playbook talks about what you need to do in your organization to get ahead, to make sure that you're inclusive of all races, not just Black people, but also indigenous people, but also LGBTQ plus people. People of diverse backgrounds, of women as well, because gender issue is still inexistent in our society here in Canada. So what we have done is not to guilt people, not to be argumentative, but to dialogue. To sit down, and you saw what happened on Thursday here, where we sat down with captains of industry, with politicians, trying to find ways that we can all talk to each other, not across each other, so that we can move ahead. So the Black North Initiative is focused on getting allies, because without allies, you can't succeed. I'll give you a typical example. If you come to what we do in the Mentorship and Sponsorship Committee, we have the Black North Connect, where we connect mentors to mentees. And the way we do that is to ensure that if you're looking for something, and if you want to get ahead, you reach out to us. You can just go to the website, say what you want to, what you need, and the kind of people that you want to mentor you. And we'll match you to the proper mentor. And that mentor will take you through a process that would help you. But mentoring is a different thing altogether. We also want sponsors. Because again, if you're in a company and you don't understand how to get to the next level, somebody to hold your hand, to help you out. One of the things in our Black community, especially immigrants coming in here, they think going out for coffee is something that is artificial, that they need to hunt down and walk, which is fine. But when you go out for coffee, you go out for drinks in the evening, for beverages, those things help. It helps to bond, it helps to nurture, it helps people to begin to know you. Share stories, who you are, how your family is. When people ask you that, well, family is good. Of course the family is good. Tell them about your children. Tell them about your kids. What interests you? What kind of movies do you watch? They get to know you. The more they get to know you, the more they trust you. People want to work with people they trust. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how things are. But we're looking for a diverse table. A table that is diverse in such a way that when people are there, thoughts are also diverse. Thoughts are not so uniform in such a way that it's monolithic. We want people to come to the table, and companies do well when they have people with different opinions and different ideas at the table. No idea is stupid. All ideas are important. So what Black North is doing is to bring these things to the fore. Work with corporate Canada. We work with Sobeys, we work with Enbridge, we work with Dentons, we work with Blakes, we work with Rogers, we work with CIBC, we work with several companies. And if you go to our website, you see the list there. These are companies that are thriving and doing well. At Trican, I've been given the opportunity to help do this. Black North is not my day job. But what Trican has done is to allow me to contribute to helping the society move along. And I give them credit. But in doing that too, they understand what I'm doing. They know my timetable. They understand the difficulties and they understand the benefits. And in sharing those things, this company has come to trust me, not just at the executive level, but also throughout the company. And I give them credit because they've allowed me to use my time in the company, doing my work in the company, but also spare times to move Black North forward, to do the things I need to do to bring it here. So on Thursday, what we did was, because we don't have a provincial chapter yet in Canada, we only have the Canada-wide Black North Initiative. This is the first chapter that was opened.
Oh, after the Ontario one.
After the Ontario one. And the Ontario one wasn't the Ontario chapter, it was the Canada-wide one that we did in 20. So what we have done now is to set the pace as Albertans, that we welcome all ideas. and you saw the corporate Canada represented in that hall at Petroleum Club, and everybody saw exactly what we're preaching, which is let's talk to each other, not across each other, and let's be each other's keeper. The fact that the table can be made even bigger, and that's how you make the pie. You create more pies when you have bigger ideas. Right. But when you're honed into your own, the zone becomes small, and then you can't advance. And then when you talk about benefits to our people, we need to also open up. We know racism exists. Right. But there are times when our stories make us even tougher to deal with. Those are inadequacies in us. But that's okay. Everybody's got their own inadequacies. Let's use that to advantage. Let's see the opportunity in the inadequacy. Work on it and see how we can use it to move along. Right. Remember, Canada is cold. Yes. And if you don't make good friends, it's going to be colder for you.
It's going to be colder. So this is part of building your community service.
Absolutely.
To the society. Okay. Yeah, it's been interesting talking about BNI, but please hold more thoughts. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're talking with Dr. Chika Onwuekwe of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. We'll be right back.
When are we gonna stop singing about Africa?
We're chatting today with Dr. Chika Onwuekwe, and we're learning more about the Black North Initiative. The launch just happened a couple of days ago, but we want to know more about this organization. So, Dr. Chika, you've told us the advantages and how to get on to find a mentor in the community. What more can you add to this initiative? What more can you add to it, and why people should actually look into it?
Thank you so much again. The Black North Initiative, we do have a strategic plan, a 4-year strategic plan that is out there, and we've shared it with people. We are very transparent about what we're doing. A few things that we've done that people don't know, because again, we don't talk about these things a lot. The first one, we work with a company called Sobeys, one of the big chains in Canada here, with respect to food and all that. And Sobeys, again, they have been so generous with their time, and we've been so lucky to work with such an organization, right, to set up and help them as they do their DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And they have somebody who is leading it now. We've talked to that person several times, and we're always open to them. So we help companies, for instance, who are moving into trying to show up their inclusiveness and belonging, so that because people can include you, but you don't belong.
That's right.
And we're making sure that at the end of the day, companies are bringing company solutions rather than us prescribing. So that's one. So two, we have had the opportunity to work on affordable housing, and we're doing that in Ontario as we speak, in Toronto actually. And people who never thought they would ever own a house or own a home can afford to own a home in our Black community now. And it is tough to know that somebody would walk, like the fella, somebody who was trying to buy a fan and keep saving. And by the time they go to the market, the
price has gone up.
So
they have to continue saving.
Absolutely. So what we've done now, working with some community leaders and banks to make sure that these people have affordable housing. And some people have just gotten their keys or about to get their keys now. So that's good. Again, we have done lots of workshops for entrepreneurs. Black people are very entrepreneurial.
Right.
They do the work, but they don't know how to put their books together. They don't know how to get to the bank and get the loan they need, because again, you need financing to advance your business. Otherwise, it becomes mom and pop shop for forever.
Right.
And we know they can advance. And we have done that through, again, some of them were sponsored by Wes himself, through the Dragon Den, and they are doing so well now. Some of them, when we did the workshop, we were able to open up opportunities for them and work with accountants who help to put their books together, and law firms like Blake's and others who are helping them to put their minute books together, because those are the things the banks need. Importantly, the Black community, most of them are not taking advantage of these things. We've also had the youth opportunity where we bring the youth together for leadership purposes, to train them, to work with them, so that they can know what to say, how to speak, how to engage with people, and begin to hone their skills at the early age. So there's so many things that we're doing. One other thing that we found out, talking to one of our signatories, Gogo, We found out that it's tough for people to enter into Google because they don't pass the exams. They don't know how to write the exams.
Right.
And we're working with them now to see how they can help people from our community to get ahead, to learn the skills they need and they need so that they can pass those exams. CIBC last year gave over 32 or so scholarships to black kids. Those scholarships are not for 1 year. The scholarships are for 4 years. So those scholarships were given to people, to those black kids from grade 12. By the time they are entering university this September, they would run with it for 4 years and job waiting for them. They would summer, they would do all sorts of things. Right. This is helpful for our community. So again, this is our allyship. We're working with allies. We're not doing it on our own. We're not sitting down asking people to come and feed us. We're going out there saying, listen, we don't need a handout.
Right.
We need a handout. That's all we need. Right. And we will make and shake the world. And in shaking the world, we are being inclusive as well. So when you look at the Black North board, for instance, we're inclusive. It's not just, we're not there with just black people alone. We know that we need to do what we preach. And that way, we are organizing ourselves and bringing our allyship into what we do. So that when we go out, we have the credibility to talk to others. So when you ask me, what should people be doing? I think people should sign up right away. Black people should sign up. Get to know what you need. That help may be there. If you're a restaurateur, for instance, fine, that's good. Maybe you're at a level. Maybe you want to move forward. Absolutely, we are there to help you. If you're a guy who is in consulting and you've been doing consulting from your home, there's nothing wrong with it. Home office is fine. But how do you scale up? Because if you scale up, you create more tables. Right. And when you create more tables, you invite more people to the table. You begin to employ people. Look beyond you. Get people who are better than you. Right. When you set up, you're an entrepreneur, but you set up a business, it's only yourself, your wife, and one kid that are directors. You guys will be talking about your family. There's nothing wrong with it. Right. But when you scale and you bring people, more people in, people who are better than you, who can give you ideas and opinions, then you begin to see the world beyond your nose. I think that's where we're going.
That's right. That's right. Most of the richest people in the world, people think they're so smart. No, they are smart. But at the end of the day, they invite people to come and share in their creativity and even help them build it, like Elon Musk and all the biggies. I don't want to mention names, but Elon is one of my favorites. But we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're chatting today with Dr. Chika Onwuekwe. We'll be right back.
When are we gonna stop singing about Africa?
Today we are chatting with Dr. Chika Onwuekwe, one of my favorite Calgarian and Canadian. We have learned a lot about BNI, which is the Black North Initiative. Now I'm going to put him on the spot. We want to know a little bit more about the man, Dr. Chika Onwuekwe. Dr. Chika, what keeps you up at night? Because I know you have all this passion about all this community service that you do. A lot of them. I know you are an active member, a very active member at that, of the Nigerian Community Association. What keeps you up at night? What gives you all this passion to be and do all the things that you do?
Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, it's. I think it's the need to ensure that you are not just the only tree in the forest. A tree does not make a forest.
That's right.
And if you're just the only tree, then you're just out there, and if anything happens, you're done. And you don't have people who are better than you around you to work with you and to make you better and you to make them better.
Right.
The thing about the work I do in the community, it's a way to give back. I have been fortunate enough, when I went to school here, maybe even go back to Nigeria, one of my mentors, Dr. John Elegido, who is the Vice Chancellor of the Pan-African University, the famous LBS. Okay. What he told me in school then was he was my tax teacher, a tax law teacher, and he told me that because of the way you're doing in school, you might be better off as a lawyer who is into tax. I didn't think of that. I didn't know that I could take that part. But he said to me, the grade you're going to make, you're going to be top 5% in your class. Why wouldn't you choose that part? And most lawyers don't go that part, and I'm glad I did. And that got me into working with Arthur Andersen and then KPMG. Right. Lawyers don't do that. Right. And that allowed me to know financials, to begin to read and understand financial documents and attend audit assurance work. I thought that was good. And he didn't have to do that, but he did. When I moved to Canada with my wife to come here to school after working for 5.5 years at Anderson. One of the things that I did was I didn't know anybody, but I was flying in and I've traveled before coming. Right. But coming here, somebody volunteered to pick me up at the airport.
Wow.
I'm still looking for that lady who picked me up, a young lady at the University of Saskatchewan in 2000, August 2000. And she came to the airport, picked me up. And when she picked me up, remember, a Caucasian, not a black person.
Right.
But she came to pick a black person up. There was no discrimination there.
Right.
She was volunteering.
Right.
As she came, picked me up, my luggage didn't arrive. She took me to my hotel. I stayed in the hotel. The next day was Sunday. It was raining. It was cold. And she came to the hotel and said, listen, I can go to the airport and just give me the document. I can go to the airport and pick up your luggage for you. Aww. You don't have to come with me. Remember, I trusted her. I've never met this lady before. I trusted her. She trusted me. I gave her all my information. Right. And she went to the airport, drove her own gas. I didn't have to pay gas. And she brought this luggage for me and thanked me. And I thanked her, and that was it. I've never seen her again.
Wow.
Volunteering. And so when I was at the university too, I saw a lot of volunteers and people do a lot of things. I was one of those who volunteered while going to school at the University of Saskatchewan, doing graduate program, to teach at a place called Saskatchewan Open Door. Okay. And because I know math a lot, I teach people math. And I was going to that place to teach math to immigrants who were coming in, especially people from places like Somalia and all that. They were having problems at that point in time. But it was good to mentor these kids. In teaching math, I became their friend. I became their trusted person. Right. They saw me and I looked like them. Most of them were struggling with English. But I know they will catch up in English. They needed math so that they can get along. That was good. Then fast forward to when I finished school. The question was, what can I do? And I went, I came to Calgary and I felt it's important to constantly give back. I saw my parents do that. I'm now doing it in a different form. The way they didn't do it, but I knew somehow that I got that from them. So to them, I'm thankful. Right. But I see that at each point in time, you have been blessed to get certain things done for you. You can, people can tell me no. I always tell people that, when we were talking, when I was teaching at the university, you know that. People can say no to you, it's okay. Right. No is an answer. Right. But you know what? If you need something, you can go back again. So having the zeal to go back and ask. Maybe you didn't ask well. Maybe you asked at the wrong time. Go to somebody else to say, you know what, this is what I'm looking for. What else can I do? Right. Somebody will always direct you. There's always that hand, the invisible hand, that will guide you. So I'm just an instrument that is being used to help people. I know that, yes, being successful yourself, you need others along, because if you're collectively successful, then absolutely you can all dance together. But if you're alone, you dance alone. Right. And I think that's what is pushing it. Last but not the least is the fact that the dream of Black North and all of us who are part of Black North is to make sure that when the stage is rich with ideas, Canada benefits. And if Canada benefits, the world benefits. We don't want a situation whereby we buckle up in our own little nest and, so for lack of a better word, suck it up. We don't want you to suck it up. Share your frustrations, share your ideas, but be part of it too. So that when you are helped, you help somebody else. Right. But I tell my mentees, when they say, how can I thank you? I say, you don't have to thank me. Do it to somebody else. Right. Make sure you mentor somebody else. Make sure you bring out your time. Volunteer. Be part of the community. Right. Those are the kind of things that I'm asking people to do. And if they do that, then the world will be a merrier place. Right, and that's paying it forward. Absolutely. And that's what you're into big time. It's been a pleasure getting to know you more and all the things that you're doing in the community, serving your community and giving back, because to whom a lot is given, a lot is expected. So you're exemplifying that biblical scripture, and I'm really grateful for that. So keep on keeping on, and please continue to do what you're doing. We are very proud of you. We see us in you, and you're making us all proud. So keep on keeping on and giving. Here is to BNI, a better future for all of us, thanks to BNI, and a lot more out there giving as well. So thank you, sir, for your time. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Phina. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Yes, sir. So we have come and we have chatted with Dr. Chika Onwuekwe, and it's been a swell time. So let's wave to the people. And bye-bye you.